Hi everyone, recently I went to Berchtesgaden and showcased what the Vivo X200 Ultra can do. Of course, link in the description for that video. But I didn't take just that phone with me. I also took with me the Oppo Find X8 Ultra. The potential of being one of the best cameras on any mobile phone. So, let's talk about the experience on the Oppo Find X8 Ultra in Berchtesgaden and also talk about its strength but also its weaknesses. Anyway, let's dive into the video and talk about the experience on it.
Alright, about 5.5 hours left to drive to get to the location. Then of course I need to set up everything. But we're finally getting somewhat close to the location.
Nature. It's where everything slows down, a place of calmness, a moment to forget the noise and simply take in the view. And here in Berchtesgaden, in the southern part of Germany, the views are truly hard to beat. Even if it did take more than 10 hours to get here, it was worth every minute. What captures me the most though is the color, the way that the lake mirrors the sky, the depth and the scale of the mountains and the snow-dusted tips, and the absolute stillness of it all. When you come from a place where this kind of landscape doesn't exist, it's humbling, it's awe-inspiring, and it makes you feel kind of small. And it's something that I've come to love through photography. Photography has never been about just taking pictures, it's about capturing a feeling. And every now and then, when the budget allows me, I seek out places like this, places I've never been before, or places that take my breath away again and again. But this journey isn't just about soaking in the views, it's also about showcasing the place and how we capture the view. And this time I've brought with me the Oppo Find X8 Ultra to do just that. It's a phone that I've come to appreciate, especially through the lens of the photography side of it. I shoot almost exclusively in master mode, chasing that authentic Hasselblad experience. Last year, the Find X7 Ultra had a beautiful design, but when it comes to the result, I felt like auto had too much processing, and master mode, while it did help, it just lacked that crisp contrast, the kind that helps separating every single colors. This year though, the Oppo Find X8 Ultra changed that. Shots feel more alive, they pop but not in a way where they're brighter and more saturated. I actually shoot a little bit darker than normal, even dialed down to -0.3 to -0.7. But it's the color contrast, the way that objects are separated, the way that the image gains depth because of it, that brings life to the scene itself. I feel like with the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, I'm not just taking a photo, I'm capturing this specific moment in Berchtesgaden, just the way that I wanted to. And at the end, that's what it's all about for me, remembering what I felt like when being there, and sharing that video through Jermaine's lens. Now before we continue the video, I also quickly want to note that I have my own website called conceptcreator.com. On that site I actually have a shop to sell some of the shots that I've taken, be it via phone or of course via proper camera. Via phone shots are 60 cents, where via proper camera they're €1. buying those will really help out a channel size like mine to fund, for instance, these travels, or of course different phones to check out. Either way, let's continue the video. So when it comes to the Oppo Find X8 Ultra so far, in my experience, I think the color contrast is one of those features where I feel like Oppo has improved a lot. I really like the image that I'm getting in master mode, because that's the mode that I'm using most of the time, unless I'm doing flower shots or portraits. Master mode is the way to go when it comes to Oppo. It doesn't over sharpen, it doesn't over process, it doesn't try to be perfect in the dynamic range, and I really like the image, and the color contrast improvement really helps out compared to what I had on the X8, of course. Well, the X8 Pro. Not to mention that in auto that one over processed way too much, as well as the X7 Ultra. And I think here the X8 Ultra has improved a lot, and I think this makes it a really interesting device for me to think about as using as a main device. Even if it is Chinese, I just don't care. If it's good, it's good. Before we continue here at Berchtesgaden, there are a few things to note. When it comes to the camera experience, as we know, I love playing around with different styles in, for instance, my city, especially with black and white. In auto, switching between those different styles and having a quick look at it works perfectly fine. It's however that when you turn to master mode, it becomes like Apple, the annoying big screen effect, and that you have to scroll through all of them, making it that it takes much more and a chore to get to the detail and the style that you want. It's a poor overview, and it's even weirder because in auto they do it properly, where in master mode it works this weird way. The great thing about going to places you've never been is honestly the hunt for the composition, the hunt for the spots that you wouldn't normally see, even if they're a little bit touristy. I really like it here, and in terms of photography, it's really exciting to challenge myself in the sense of different kind of shots and different kinds of compositions. And I think here the Oppo does really do well. Still think in Iceland though it will do at its best, work at its best. Shooting here in Berchtesgaden has been nothing short of amazing. From the moment I arrived, I knew that this was the perfect place to test out several phones. And when it comes to the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, the clarity in RAW files generally surprised me. Not only are the details really solid, but there's a richness to the textures as well, especially when capturing those snow-covered peaks or the reflection of the lake surfaces. Every shot feels like it's telling its own story. And because I'm using RAW as well, there's little to no AI interference that really matters to me. And then the colors. This is where the camera really shines. Berchtesgaden is full of subtle and bold tones as well, from the deep green forest to the icy blues. The X8 Ultra handled these scenes beautifully. In RAW, the balance between accuracy and emotion in the colors gave me the freedom to edit them while still retaining the feeling of that moment that I was there. Looking back at these pictures, I feel like I'm there again. There's also something really good about the way that the depth is rendered now because of that difference in color contrast. RAW shots are a fine balance between sharp details and a soft background that really elevates an image from being a simple phone shot to something more expressive. But there's more to the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, and for that I need to go back to Arnhem. Sometimes photography for me isn't about perfection. It's not about the sharpest image or the cleanest lines. It's about a feeling, a moment, an instinct to lift the camera and just shoot. Often when I shoot though, comparisons are in my mind. I'm thinking about how I can showcase the best comparison shot so you can zoom in, crop in and show the details. But when I don't need to, I start playing around with styles. And one of my favorite styles, without a question, is black and white photography. It's all about the contrast, the emotion in the light and the shadow. And in a city like Arnhem, or places steeped in elegance like Pleistocene, those contrasts really give a pop, and it really matters how a phone approaches its black and white photography. Now, I don't think that the Oppo Find X8 Ultra beats the Xiaomi when it comes to this black and white experience, but that being said, it's a close second. But what matters more when playing around with different styles, you might find something new, something that you will actually really like. And in this case, I found that. It's called Faded. Arnhem is full with older architecture, cobblestone paths, quiet and narrow roads, and buildings that have stories written onto their walls. And in these kinds of places, Faded makes the details sing: a ratted door, a window with chipped paint, and even something as simple as an emblem of an old phone. It becomes something more, not flashy, not loud, just quietly striking. Faded is a style that I will be using more and more. I see a charm in its imperfection, and that is why I advocate to play around with those styles to see what you like, because sometimes you will find a new favorite to play around with, and I think Faded might be one of those. So when it comes to the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, I think this is really stellar. It allows a lot of character in the shot when using master mode. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of phones using AI, and the Oppo Find X8 Ultra is definitely a victim of that as well. I don't want it on my phone, and I never really want to, and you will notice that in shots where you zoom in a lot or when you do macro photography. While I think it's improved in terms of macro photography compared to what we got on the Oppo Find X8 Pro, I still feel like that AI interference and details created from AI interference just doesn't look right, and it can be quite noticeable on some shots. It really depends on the situation and the shot though, but something like that I really don't want to see on my phone. But at the end, when it comes to the capabilities of the Oppo Find X8 Ultra when using master mode, I think this can create some excellent pictures and video as well. I just wish that the lock capabilities were here, but I don't have it just yet. Either way, the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, I think this phone will actually be really excellent in Iceland. Maybe someday we'll go there, but right now, of course, my budget went to Berchtesgaden, so probably not for a while now. Either way, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course if you did, don't forget to like and definitely subscribe for more content showcasing the camera capabilities of phones like these. And of course, check out some other videos that I've done as well. Now naturally, before we leave, I also really want to thank my members. Thank you so much for the support. If you want to become a member, you can by clicking join somewhere below, and of course you will have some access to raw files taken on the Oppo Find X8 Ultra. Either way, have a good one, and talk to you guys in the next.